Here with Ben Fawkes at bfawkes22 on Twitter, our sportsbook insider. Ben, large Week 14 schedule in the NFL coming up this weekend. Couple big faves in the 49ers and Dolphins on the board, but what sides are seeing the biggest numbers in terms of the betting public?
Yeah, so certainly some we'd expect, and then some maybe you wouldn't expect. Although, again, betting against the New York Jets seems like a good proposition these days. And that's one of the games we're seeing the most public bettors on right now is the Houston Texans as a 3.5-point favorite over the New York Jets. Over 85% of wagers at one sportsbook on the Texans. This line has come down a bit, but the public all over the Texans in that one. And then, as you mentioned, the two Monday night games, the Green Bay Packers, the public just saw them beat the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. They get a Monday Night Football game against the lowly New York Giants, 6.5-point road favorites. We're seeing a lot of public support on the Packers. And then the Miami Dolphins, again, public just saw them destroy the Washington Commanders as a large, about 10-point favorite, little above. Now, again, they have a big spread against the Tennessee Titans and public backing them again with that offense. When Tua, Tyreek Hill, and everyone is going, they seem kind of unstoppable, and that's another one that public is backing so far in Week 14.
So what about sharp money? Has that started to surface yet? What sides are the sharps eyeing this week?
So we've seen a little bit come in at earlier numbers on that Jets. I think some of that was around Jets +6, Jets +5.5 in that Texans game. Some of that likely relating to the fact of Zach Wilson playing. Again, Zach Wilson isn't an upgrade for the Jets necessarily over too many quarterbacks, but I think some respected bettors see him as an upgrade over Tim Boyle and potentially Trevor Siemian, which is what the Jets would have been throwing out against the Texans. So it's some of those higher numbers, the sharps like that. At a couple of sports books as well, the Chargers at -2.5. People like that as a home favorite, respected bettors, against the Broncos. And then one other one that we saw, the Bears +3.5 against the Lions. Public all over the Lions, as you would expect. Some respected bettors on the Bears at +3.5.
Ton of low totals on the NFL board this week. We had the Thursday nighter between the Pats and Steelers, of course. We've got Panthers, Saints, Texans, Jets, Jags, Browns. The list goes on. Some of those games could see some significant weather with snow, wind, rain. Has there been any action of note yet on the totals, either when it comes to ticket count or dollars?
So we have generally seen some respected bettors as well as the market moving because of those potential weather reports. We have seen some of those totals move down into the low 30s and some, the Jaguars, Browns at 30.5. Those are extremely low totals for the NFL. We've certainly seen unders dominate so far in this season, and we've slowly started to see the public bet into those unders as well. Thursday Night Football will be one of those where the majority of public bets are on the under. So far for some of Sunday's games, we've seen the larger amount of total dollars wagered on the under in some of those games, but not necessarily the bets. The bets at a lot of them are right around 50-50. I think the public likely waiting to see closer what the weather looks like day of, see some of those reports on Twitter and social media, some other platforms as well. So we've kind of seen 50-50 betting, but some of the bigger bets on the under so far in some of those bad weather games. And you really want to look at the wind when you're looking at those games. Wind and snow, but especially wind is really going to impact scoring a lot more than rain or snow.
We've got the battle for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy this weekend with Army-Navy. Navy currently a 3-point dog and a minuscule total on the board in this one as well. What's the action like for this matchup?
So it is the only college football game going on this weekend, but talking to multiple bookmakers, it has been pretty light action so far. A couple of respected bets on Army -3, and we have seen this total come down. I believe 16 of the past 17 years in this game, it has gone under the total. But again, it did go over last year in this matchup, and the total has come down significantly where you're not necessarily at Iowa totals here where it's 25, let's say, as they had against Nebraska earlier this season. But 27.5 is a very low total. Obviously, two teams that run the ball a lot, meaning there's going to be a running clock, probably less scoring. But so far, we haven't necessarily seen the public backing that it's been, again, around kind of a 50-50 split. I think this will still be a lightly wagered game just because it's also not the most exciting game. Great game to watch, necessarily a lot of pride. Everyone loves to see it, but not the most exciting game, perhaps, for bettors.
Last thing I'll leave you with, and I know it's early, but has there been anything notable on the college football playoff matchups?
So the biggest thing, as you would probably expect, is everybody loves Alabama. The public, again, likes to bet what they just saw last. That was Alabama beating the previous number one team in the college football playoff rankings and number one for a lot of the season in Georgia, the back-to-back defending national champions who will not have a chance to get a third national championship because of Alabama. The Alabama money line has been the most wagered upon of any single bowl game. The most wagered on market at multiple sports books. And we've seen that line come down as well. So we saw it open about Michigan -2.5. It's now down to about Alabama plus 1.5, +1 at some sports books. So we've seen that come down. A lot of Alabama money. A couple bookmakers I spoke to said they wouldn't be surprised if this ended pick or even Alabama as a slight favorite. But so far, the early money, the vast majority on the Crimson Tide.
Ben Fawkes, thanks as always. We'll talk next week.
Sounds good.